Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Veronica, and today I decided to try out that new Riviera retreat kit. So today we are building this kind of an Italian styled villa in Oasis Springs, and I've spent some time doing that, and that's like a huge villa, and that is not like a residential lot I was planning that to be. I just decided in the end that might be a nice way to make a vacation rental kind of lot. So, like maybe your Sims live somewhere where there's winter sometimes, and you can just bring them during the winter in Oasis Springs so that they would enjoy the warmth of the weather out here because it's usually not so cold out here. And I'm building this house in that area of Oasis Springs where the Calientes usually live. So we have a nice and big lake in the background. We have all of these green patches everywhere, and this house is in one of these green patches. And actually around here we have much more greenery than we usually have in Oasis Springs around. So this is not that much of a deserty house, it's a little bit more of a blooming one. And I should say probably that actually I made slight mistake with that because later you will probably see, but in the front we have more of a desert landscaping, but in the background it's all like green and blooming, and we have a lot of different plants in there. But maybe it's not like a mistake, maybe it's just, outside of this lot there is more of a desert landscaping, but literally in the backyard of this lot, these people who own this rental, they do take care of this lot, they do take care of this big garden, and that is why we have more of some blooming trees, some big plants, some big flowers, some vines on the building, and you will see that all later. But actually, on the exterior, I've discovered that Jungle Adventure, the Castle Kit, and Discover University, they work kind of good together. And actually, Discover University windows and Discover University fences do go really well with these kind of houses. And I was not expecting that. That was a little bit of a surprise for me, but I think that that is not that bad of a surprise because I very much like when things from different packs in The Sims 4 match together so well. And in here, it did match together really well. And in some parts, you might question my decision of calling this house like an Italian villa, especially on the interior, because there is not so much of Italians in the interior. And that is because I think that I was just going for not like Italian, but more of like a southern villa, so like a vacation home. So that we have those rentals where that you can place in every single world that which are not from the front pack, but where your Sims can just go for a vacation for several times, for several days in the Sims, up to a week, I think. So I was kind of going for more of a southern villa, maybe because I think that it's it's gonna be a little bit too boring if I will try to make it all Italian in The Sims, and I try to mix some of the cultures, to say so, all in one spot. And in the interior, you will see that I was going for more of, I don't know, jungle adventure vibes in here, more than Italian, more than Oasis Springs vibes, but I don't think that that turned out to be so bad. I just was going for a lot of fabrics, I was going for a lot of woods everywhere around in the interior. Of course, all of the exterior is stone, and in the interior, all of the floorings are the same everywhere. I was just going for one and the same tile, and I don't think that that is a bad thing. This tile from Jungle Adventure is very beautiful. It's multicolored, so it doesn't look so boring, and it's like a statement flooring, maybe, of sorts. And I think that that turned out to be not so bad in the end. So I hope you will see. And of course, for the backyard, I was using the Riviera retreat kit everywhere. So we have this fancy new pergola in there. Everything for the pool is from that kit. I decided to use that patio chair we had from that kit. I decided also to place there a grill because maybe if you come over to this villa with all of your extended family, and you can fit in here your whole extended family because you can sleep in here 14 Sims. And that is because I have 6 bedrooms, and 4 of them do fit up to 2 Sims because most of them do have double beds. A couple one of them actually to be precise, has a couple of single beds, and two of the bedrooms that do have double beds, they also have a toddler bed and an infant bed. And that was a tiny flop on my side, of course, because I did not place all much stuff to do for your toddlers or infants. But I didn't even place a high chair in here. I should tell you that. I should tell you that. But it's like a family-friendly vacation house. But if you want to come in here with your infant, I'm sorry, do not come to vacation rentals with your infants. That's a little bit weird, especially in the Sims. That is such a hassle to take care of your infants when you're on vacation. It's better, it's easier to stay at home when you want to, if you want to take care of your infants all the time. But I think that in the same time, that is not that bad of a house because at least you can sleep them in here. Because most of the vacation rentals we have in the Sims, they do not have toddlers or infants bed, and in here I decided to place some so that you have some at least, so that you will be able to come in here with your kids if you want to. But I'm kind of more imagining that maybe you want to come over here with your maybe college students, like not your college students, but with your roommates from college days, or maybe with your friends from the high school. Maybe you were just young adult and then you decided to come over here maybe to just relax, to sunbathe, to maybe spend some time near the fire pit. I decided to place in here under that pergola that came with the Riviera retreat kit. Or maybe you just want to have some time to relax on this pool lounge. And you can, of course, nobody's gonna stop you, but you can come in here like with less sims. You can freely come in here not with like 10 sims or and not with the 14 sim that I have accidentally made it accessible for, but you can come in here with just two and you can occupy whatever bedroom you want to occupy. You can even come here with just one sim. Maybe you want to meet the clientes, like who knows? They live just next door. But that was not the reason why I picked this lot. I picked this lot because I thought that it's a perfect lot to make a nice and summer vibe vacation rental with a little bit of Italian vibes or southern vibes. I don't know, maybe it's Florida vibes. I'm not sure because we have a lot of stucco in here. We have a lot of these like brownish houses which are mostly stone all the way around. Some red roofs, a lot of columns, a lot of archways. So it's a little bit more of a southern European, I think, like best south of Europe. But that's okay. I'm not an expert in in the worldwide architecture. I'm not. That's why I'm completely not sure if I had a right to call this an Italian villa, but I did. So here we are. And actually, maybe it's gonna be just a Riviera villa. We'll see. And as we are going back to the inside of the house, you might notice that the floor plan just came out of nowhere, and that is because I've spent like a ridiculous amount of time trying to figure out what kind of floor plan I want to make for here. And that is why I decided to cut that part out because nobody wants to see me placing the walls and deleting them back for 20 minutes, and that's sped up. So I think that nobody wants to see that, so I decided to leave only the final product of the floor plan, and we are going right into the furnishing of this house. And I think that now that I'm trying to furnish this house, you might already see where I went off the Italian villa style, because in here we have some more of like ethnic vibes, maybe with some prints which are like not too much of Italian. We have a lot of bright colors. Of course, we still have a lot of woods. We still have a lot of plants, and we have a lot of these like I don't know, the Sims 3 vibes wallpaper. For me, the Sims 3 vibes because I don't know, but I think that in the Sims 3 we had so much more of these like weirdly patterned wallpapers than we do in the Sims 4. So for me, this is completely the Sims 3 vibes wallpapers, and I decided to place a different wallpaper on every single one of the bedrooms, and we have one and the same wallpaper in all of the like common areas. And in this house, in the end, we are gonna have 6 bedrooms. We are gonna have 4 bathrooms, and unfortunately, there is only one bathroom that is accessible from the hallways, not from the bedrooms, and this is the bathroom on the second floor. So that's a little bit not so comfortable, not so convenient to have, but that is still better than not having a bathroom at all. And downstairs we are gonna have like a big entryway, just gonna be like a grand entryway where I decided to place a lot of plants, a lot of storage, some sitting area for you to maybe put on your shoes when you're gonna leave the house. Also, on the second floor we have a living area, and that is one of the two living areas. And for me, it's like a TV room because in here I just decided to place a TV. So we have here a couple of couches, a TV, and some books, and some clutter, of course. And I was using a lot of packs, like embarrassing amount of packs in here. And you might have already noticed that because I was not limiting myself with the exterior. And now I'm not limiting myself with the interior. So that's gonna be a long list of packs for here. So I'm a little bit sorry for that, but that's how I decided to build this house because I just wanted to explore the new kit and the new kit on the exterior and on the interior we had so much more stuff. So I think that's yeah, when I'm trying to see how many packs I've used on the gallery, I need to roll the number of packs 3 times. So I'm sorry for that. And for 237,000 simoleon house, that is embarrassing. But alright, I'm gonna enjoy this myself. I'm gonna place it in every single world I'm playing in every single save I'm playing in. And I think that my Sims will be able to go down in this house for vacation and maybe even in my legacy challenge when my toddler will age up because I still do not want to travel with a toddler. I think that I will be able to go in here and enjoy the time off with my whole family because I have a big family in there. Maybe we are gonna have a bigger family in a couple of generations because I'm not planning on having a lot of kids myself next generation, but I think that my siblings might pop up with several children, and we have quite a lot. I think yes, we have 3 kids in my legacy challenge, so I think that 3 kids of the first generation can turn out to be hundreds of kids in 10 generations. So we'll see. All right, back to the interior of this house. I should stop blabbering about my legacy challenge. But in here, I decided to use mostly those like fancy, almost double doors in every single bedroom. It's like a single door, but it's wide enough to be a double door. So it's still a single door. So it's a nice and big door. It looking fancy. We have a lot of dark woods in the interior. You might have noticed it already. And I think that it turned out to be quite good. And actually about more of a Riviera retreat kit. I was using literally everywhere those curtains that came with that kit. And those curtains, yes, they have these spiky things on top of them because they are supposed to be placed on top of the archways that we have everywhere that we are supposed to use from this kit. But I just decided that I like these archways and I've used them in the back of the house. But I really do not wanna limit myself with placing these curtains only on top of these archways. So I was using that curtain rod that came with the deluxe kit, and that looked absolutely perfect with these curtains if you press a 9 key once. And 9 key, it actually raises up an item only like a tiny little bit. So sometimes, even if you use quarter tile placement, you can quarter tile kind of place on the walls as well, and 9 key allows you to make it like 1/8 of a tile. So that was quite useful for me to use around here, and you have probably already noticed that I have used those curtain rods literally on the whole perimeter of the house. And that is because, yeah, I just like the way it looked and I just like the vibe it gave. It gave like a rich Italian house, even though I know that I went far off the Italian house vibe when I was furnishing this house. But it looks expensive, it looks cozy, and it looks kind of southern, and it looks like a big, I don't know, like a guest house where you would probably have one common kitchen, one common living, one common dining area, but you would have a lot of separated bedrooms. So I think that that looks a lot like a big and expensive and fancy guest house. So I think that that's not so bad as well, like some sort of a hostel. So I don't know, but I think that that turned out to be quite a cozy of a house, at least cozy looking. And when I was furnishing the kitchen, of course, when I was going actually for the whole furnishing of the house, I was mostly going for brown, dark browns, because first of all, it matched wood very well. And second of all, it gave me that like dark, old, and expensive vibe that I was going for so desperately when I was furnishing this house. And of course, I could not stop myself and I did place a lot of clutter. So if you have a PC that is on the weaker side, I'm sorry this house can turn out to be a little bit glitchy for you. But if you want to play, if you still want to play with that, you can bother at least once and just go into this house, go and download that. Maybe remove some of the extra clutter that you do not seem to see so necessary, and maybe it will run a little bit easier on your PC. In this house, I decided to cut out me furnishing all of the bathrooms because otherwise the spilled build was turning out to be a little bit on the longer side, and that is not exactly what I would prefer to have, especially for the house not that huge. It's not a high school that was over an hour long video. So in here, we do not need this video to be so long, so I decided to cut out some of the parts when I was furnishing some of the bathrooms. Not some of them, all of them. But I made some fun stuff around there because I just decided to make like a statement bathtub in there. One of the bathrooms is like a Jack and bathroom, so it's kind of connecting the two bedrooms, and that's a little bit weird, I know, for a rental house, especially if you consider that this is like a sort of a guest house where every single bedroom is like a separate room. But I think that maybe these two rooms that have these Jack and Jill bathrooms are kind of like maybe supposed to be rented all at once, and they're for a couple adults. So that's what I was imagining that. And of course, I decided to place like similar clutter in every single one of the bedrooms, and that was mostly like those tiny baskets with some bottles. As if you know, when you're stopping in a hotel, you will get some their hotel shampoos, maybe hair conditioners and stuff like that. And that's what I was imagining that for. Even if it's a guest house, that is a fancy guest house. That is not a cheap one. In here, we are not limiting ourselves with the money, and that was I was imagining in here. Also, we have a lot of toiletries in the toilets, of course, and these are, in my imagination, are kind of as well. They are just the toiletries that are provided by this guest house, and I'm still imagining that this is an expensive and fancy guest house. So I think that in the end, I would really like to say that this house turned out to be quite big and fancy, and I really like the way it turned out. And I'm really happy with the way the exterior turned out, and I was really not expecting how the castle kit would go so well in the house of this style. So I literally, at some point, I did not know how to use the castle kit except for the graveyard or castle, because in the graveyard, if you place some kind of chapel in the middle, it's gonna look okay if you use the castle kit. I did that, and of course for the castle as well, because that is like a literally purpose of this kit. But I did not expect that for like Italian inspired exterior, this castle kit would look well as well. And it was actually perfect. With the staircases, with not with the archways, but with some of the roof trims, not the roof trims, but with floor trims. So I think that that turned out to be actually very good. And you will see also, I think that in the interior of this house, I did use some of the weird stuff. Like we will have a couple of nights. I'm not sure what you think about that, but I just had fun placing all of these expensive 8,000 simoleons nights around this whole build. And we have three at least, I think. I know for sure that we have a couple of them in the dining area, and we also have at least one of them in the hallway on the second floor. So that's supposed to be like an expensive house. And actually, if you really want to play in this kind of house, you can easily convert it to like a just typical residential lot, just going into build mode from the live mode and resetting that to the residential lot. And if you want to live in this house, you can do that, and you can easily play in this kind of house with your sims. But I think that you will need to refurnish some of the bedrooms if you want to do that, because this house is not that infant and toddler friendly, because I just made it friendly for infants and toddlers in case if you maybe come over for a vacation with your infants and toddlers, because if you go for a vacation, you would probably want to live in the same room with your infants and toddlers. But if you want to live in there, you might want to have a kid's bedroom, and having your child live in the same room till they're 12, that's a little bit weird, I think. So I think that now I'm almost finishing with the whole build. Now I can pop into the game. So this is our Italian Villa. Or maybe I actually called it Riviera Villa on my gallery. It's already on my gallery. My gallery name is Globeron, just like my YouTube name, so you can go in there and download it already. So we are using these high school year columns in here, and it did go well with this Castle Kid theme, with these fences that came with Discover University, which I was surprised that it did go well all together like that. And in here we have some of these like balcony holders, I would call them, but we have these llamas in the bottoms. So it all looks kind of a little bit weird, maybe, but I think that that looks very fancy. And all of these windows are Discover University windows, so I was a little bit surprised when I figured that they do match this style absolutely perfectly. So I decided to use them in here. We have more of the llamas. We have some blooming areas around here. And as I have said, the front part of the house is kind of more deserty, and the back car part of the house is kind of more blooming. We even have some vines out there. So I think that I should probably start showing you the interior first. So as you go, we go through these like front porch. It's a big porch, but we only have a couple of plants in there. In a couple of these lights, and as you enter, we have the ceiling fan. We have a sitting area where you can put on your shoes. We have here a drawer where you can keep some of your stuff. We have here a lamp, a duck, and chicken, of course. That is extremely important. As we go over here through this archway, we will enter our kitchen and dining and living room. So in here we have quite a big and expensive kitchen. In here I just decided to place some random stuff. These are actually a couple of vases, and I decided to place some of the dried plants into them. So I thought that that looks a little bit more fancy than if I just did leave this kind of bucket this plant came in. In here we have a coffee machine. Also we have a sink. I did not forget about that this time. I decided to leave this counter empty so your Sims can cook, and also they can cook in this one. So that's all functional. We have a stove up here, stove ventilation, a fridge, some storage. In here we have some statues that are just a little bit weird, but we have them. And we have some fancy paintings. And this is the new trash can. I just decided to place it in here. I just thought that that's gonna look nice and fancy. And this is our dining room. I just decided to make some kind of an installation with these lights, and I did not color the ceilings. I just thought that it's a little bit unnecessary, but you could, if you, I could have, if I remembered about that. I think that I have just forgotten. A couple of lights on the sides, all of the same curtains, and you see how I decided to hide these spiky areas. So when I'm placing this rod, by default they are placing like this or this. If I press F5, I can place them like this, so it still skips over the area where I want to place my curtain. But if I place it like that, and if I push a 9 key like that, then it's going to be placed in the exact area where it's going to be perfectly hiding those spiky parts. So that's what we have in here. In here I decided to place a tiny room divider so that our living room is kind of divided from our dining area. And in here we have like a mostly a conversation spot living room, and with the bar. This is a bar, by the way. It came with luxury party, I think. In here you can just sit and talk to your friends, maybe enjoy some time off. And I know that this is kind of like an ethnic furniture, more of an ethnic furniture than a rich Italian furniture, but I think that that still looks kind of cute out here. And now let us go to this part. In here we have all of the bedrooms, and every single bedroom has most of the similar vibes. So we have some paintings on the wall, we have some clutter around here, like this basket with some toiletries, a clock, a plant. We have a fancy mirror, and this bedroom has access to the backyard right away. In here we have some more like fancy stuff that would be placed if this house was an hotel. So that's why I decided to place in here. And this is one of those two bedrooms that have Jig and Gel bathroom. And let us go to the second bedroom first. In here we have this like towel holding thing from the Friends pack. Also in here we have a shoe rack. I decided to place that in every single one of the bedrooms. And in this bedroom has more of a foreign expansion pack furniture around that. But in here we also have the toiletries basket, we have some magazines so you can read, we have the same curtains everywhere, and also as this bedroom is a tiny little bit bigger, we have here a sitting spot. So you can sit in here, maybe talk, and enjoy some time. And this is one of the most fancy bathrooms I've ever furnished. So I decided to limit the mirror up here with the same curtain rod we have in here. And in here we have a couple of storage cabinets, some more stuff you seems might use, like the same hotel toiletries in my imagination. Some towels hang like directly on top of the mirror, a sink up here, and this is the that like installation of a bathroom. So this toilet is kind of sneaked into this corner. It's kind of hidden out here. It has a toilet paper, it has some storage up here, and your sinks will go through this kind of okay because they can go directly through the curtain. That's not a problem for them. And then here we have like some more toiletries shelf, and I just decided to kind of make it a statement. And here we have some soaps for you to wash yourself. And this bathtub has a view somewhere out there to the rocks and the mirror. And that's pretty much it for the first floor. Now let's go upstairs. If we go upstairs, in here we have kind of a fancy of a living room. I just decided to place here this tapestry. We have one more night, some books. So this is more like a TV room, so you can drink some tea out there. You can sit, you can talk, you can maybe read some books, you can enjoy your time. And we can access this balcony, but this balcony is kind of not functionally just here for it to be here. I could have placed here a window, but I just wanted it to be like a properly functional balcony. So if you will want to, you will be able to place in here a chess table, but I doubt that you will need that because we have a chess table in our backyard balcony already. And as for this whole area, in here we have four more bedrooms and three more bathrooms. So this is, in my imagination, maybe kids and teens bedroom. So in here we have some more paintings. We have in here we have a cabinet, couple of beds, a clock, some more toiletries, some books, and some decor. The shoe rack, of course. And this is one of the bedrooms that has access to this back balcony. The same in this one on the opposite side. And as for the toilet, I did pretty much the same, but with a different layout. So in here we have a toilet underneath the window. I know that not everybody likes it like that, but I'm okay with toilet being right underneath the window. And this is that only toilet that is accessible from the hallway. So all other toilets are accessible exclusively from the bedrooms. And as for this room, this is our room for parents who came on a vacation with the infant. So in here we have some decor, a giraffe, some plants. In here we have some more toiletries just because if you have an infant, you might need some more. And also in here we have the cabinet, sitting area, so maybe you can sit in here, feed your child, stuff like that. Some toys in here. These are not functional, this is just decor. Shoe rack, and also in here we have this mirror and a painting. And on the opposite side, in here on the both sides of this TV, we can access two of the bedrooms. This is the bedroom of people who came over here with the toddler. So the toddler has kind of a divided area for them to sleep. We have a Blarfy, this rabbit Blarfy, a toy box, and I've just figured that I forgot about the toddler potty. So if you want to play in here with a toddler, you will need to place the toddler potty for yourself. I'm sorry for that. That's a mess, I know, but that's okay. Mistakes do happen. And then here we have some more toiletries up here, some toys for the toddler, and of course I decided to place all of the toys for the toddler but no toddler potty. Alright, that happens. I'm not upset about that. And this bedroom has the same fancy toilet as the downstairs bedroom does, but here we have a second mirror all the way across this wall instead of the door to the second bedroom. So that's what we have out here. And as for the last bedroom, this is the fanciest bedroom. As for the price of the decor, we have one more chicken, we have a clock, we have these cat statues, and kind of an empty decor otherwise, and that's pretty much it. And this bedroom has its own tiny balcony with just a base, and that's it. And that's like a very tiny balcony. It won't be functional anyway, so it's just here for the decor of the exterior. And also it has a fancy bathroom as well, but only with shower and toilet. And in here we have this like a built-in sink and mirror. And that's pretty much it for all of the interior of the house. And now let us go back to the exterior. As for the back of the exterior, by the way, I'm very proud of the way this part with all of these archways and columns turned out. And of course, in here we have a wall, but in here we don't because I decided to place a fence in here, but that's just a tiny limitation of the Sims. You cannot place a fence and a wall in one spot at the same time, so that's okay. And that's why we have this tiny gap up here between this stream and archway, but that is not so visible, and it kind of gives maybe a bit of a more expensive vibe, more like precise work when people were trying to make stuff like that, but with some gaps around that. And as for the exterior, so in here we have our absolutely new pool with a tiny fountain, with a couple of floaties up here. I decided to place some of the lights out there in the pool in the bottom. In here we have some rocks, a couple of lounge chairs, a ladder for you to be able to access the pool. In here we have this towel rack with some candles and plants. And here we have that lemonade tray that was not tagged properly because all other lemonade trays in here, they are in the kitchen appliances and this one is not. So you see, this is drink tray, this is drink tray, this is drink tray, this is drink tray, and this drink tray. They are all in this category except for this lemonade tray. So there are some problems with tagging in The Sims 4, but that's okay. It happens all the time. And also out here, right by the pool, we have this patio chair where you can grill nearby. I decided to place this tiny storage for you to for your Sims to be able to place all of the things they are grilled right away out here, and then they can eat out here. And also we have this like a tiny pathway. I'm gonna go down, and also in here by these patio chairs we have this tiny pathway towards our pergola that is partly kind of hidden in the trees now. But is that a bad thing? I doubt that. But in here on the pergola I decided to place this fire pit, this bronze one with some wood in there, with some chairs, so your Sims might sit in here, they can light some of the fire, and they can enjoy their time in here in the evenings. And I think that I'm imagining that in the evenings it's gonna look like the best, like that, like some kind of magical space. Imagine only the fire being in this area. That's gonna be so beautiful. So that's what I was imagining for here. And out here we have a gate, and this gate can lead you either to the lake, so your Sims can fish in there. I'm not sure that your Sims can swim in this lake, but they can fish in there. And also in here we can have an access to a couple of trash cans that I just decided to sneak into the very back of our lot. So this is the build, and I think that thank you for watching, and if you like videos like that, you can subscribe to my channel. And this must be a goodbye.